Hello, franchising friends and family. Catherine Monson again. Last weekend, I read a great article by John Maxwell on how to be a great leader. John Maxwell is an American author and speaker who has written many books, primarily focused on leadership. Titles include the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership and the 21 Indispensable Qualities of a Leader. His books have sold millions and millions of copies, and I have read many of them. He speaks annually to Fortune 500 companies, international government leaders, organizations as diverse as the U.S. Military Academy at West Point and the NFL. He is a New York Times, a Wall Street Journal, and a Business Week best-selling author, and he was one of only 25 authors named to Amazon.com's 10th Anniversary Hall of Fame. This guy has it going on. And the article I read last weekend is titled Lead by Example: The 4 Elements of True Inspiration. And it just resonated with me. I got so excited about the article, I thought I would share what his points are with you. Do you remember being a child in school, catching yourself gazing out the window and having your mind dreaming about some distant, far-off place? You maybe even got in trouble for daydreaming back when you were in school, but the amazing thing that John Maxwell says is great leaders are often thinking about the future. That's called dreaming about what you want your company to become. Author Hans Finzel observed correctly that the higher you go in leadership, the more your work is about the future. But very important, at the very same time, true leaders are practical enough to know that vision without action achieves nothing. They are stewards of their vision. They know what they want the company to be, and they know they have to communicate it effectively, repeatedly, and they know they need to motivate their people to action to fulfilling that vision. The temptation may be to simply communicate the vision, but the best of the best leaders will communicate it clearly. They'll communicate it creatively. They'll communicate it continually, while going beyond just communication. The leader must also live the vision. That leader will effectively model the vision to make the picture truly come alive for the entire team. Maxwell says good leaders are conscious of the fact that they, as leaders, are setting the example, and others will follow them, for better or for worse. So here's the thing, if you exhibit bad characteristics, chances are your people will mimic them. If you exhibit great leadership characteristics and commitment to the company, chances are your people will mimic them. Your behavior can inspire others to do great things, perfectly in line with your vision, or it could inspire them to simply move in circles. Maxwell calls this the law of the picture, and I love that term, the law of the picture. This principle is most apparent in times of chaos and uncertainty, which, well, pandemic, this is chaos and uncertainty. He's saying this law of the picture is even more important in these kinds of times. In challenging times, consider these insights on how to be the model of energy, of passion, and of motivation for the people who follow you. And he recommends these 4 elements of inspirational leadership. Number 1, your followers are always watching you. Now, if you're a parent, you've already realized that your children are always watching you, and they don't miss a thing. And they learn more from what they see than from what you tell them to do. No matter what parents teach their children, the children will insist on behaving like their parents, good or bad. So just as children watch their parents to emulate them, so do employees watch and emulate their bosses. If the bosses come in late, the employees feel they can too. If the bosses cut corners, employees cut corners. People do what people see. Followers may doubt what their leaders say, but they usually believe their leaders' actions. And employees will imitate the leader's actions. Number 2 on John Maxwell's list, it's easier to teach than to do. One of the earliest challenges Maxwell had as a leader was to raise his own level of living to the level of his teaching. He remembers the day he decided he would not teach anything he did not try to live himself. And that, according to Maxwell, was a tough decision. But as a young leader, he was learning to embrace what he calls the law of the picture. Author Norman Vincent Peale stated, "Nothing is more confusing than people who give good advice and set a bad example." Maxwell says a related thought is also true. Nothing is more convincing than people who give good advice and set a good example. Leadership principle number 3. We should work to change ourselves before changing others. To improve the performance of the team, leaders must act as change agents. However, a great danger to good leadership is the temptation to try to change others without first making the changes to yourself. As a leader, the first person I need to lead is me. The first person I should try to change is me. My standards of excellence should be higher for myself than for those I set for others. To remain a credible leader, I must always work first, work hardest, and work longest on changing myself. When we lead any other way than by example, we send a very fuzzy picture of leadership to those in our organization. If we work on improving ourselves and make that our primary mission, it will be more likely to inspire others to follow. And number 4, piece of amazing leadership advice, the most valuable gift a leader can give is being a good example. More than anything else, employees want leaders whose beliefs and actions line up. They want good models who lead from the front. Leadership is more caught than taught. I love that. Leadership is more caught than taught. How does one catch leadership? It's contagious. You catch it from watching good leaders in action. The majority of leaders emerge because of the impact made upon them by established leaders who modeled leadership and mentored those young leaders along in their leadership journey. When John Maxwell talks about his leadership journey, he says he feels that he has been fortunate to have had excellent leadership role models where he caught aspects of leadership. Perseverance from his father, encouragement from Ken Blanchard, vision from Bill Bright, and intensity from Bill Hybel, to name just a few of his leadership mentors. As Nobel Peace Prize winner Albert Schweitzer observed, example is leadership. Go to johnmaxwell.com. johnmaxwell.com has many great resources to help you in your leadership journey. You can read his articles, sign up for his emails, read his blog, order his books. Now, let's all step into our dreams of being great leaders and remember to be great examples. Thank you.